Hi everyone. I hope you're having a good weekend. This is just a very short, maybe 4-minute video introducing you to the last few weeks of work, and we're here in week 10. As you see, there are only 3 weeks left in the course, a little less actually, because week 12 ends on a Friday. But anyway, I wanted to show you what we'll be working on this week. You already know about Project 4, The Outsider's Guide, because you've been working on your bibliography. But in this case, I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of writing, thinking forward, maybe 15 to 25 minutes about your ideas for the project so far. In particular, who do you think the audience would be for your interest? And then what do you think that they already know, believe, or understand about your topic? What do you see as the purpose of this guide? In other words, going back to the definition on the assignment sheet, what will you lead your reader towards seeing, believing, or understanding better? This guide will have a perspective. And why might this be important or worthwhile? So you're going to post all this to the discussion board. That's due on Wednesday the 22nd. The other thing due on the 22nd is something called the mini dialogue. Now this mini dialogue, let me see if it will pop up here. Oh, there's my dog. Anyway, this mini dialogue is just a practice session where you are going to set up, almost like in play format, a discussion between your sources and yourself about some part of your topic. Now, I asked you to find sources that were all arguments that came from a perspective. So you're thinking about how do the writer's ideas overlap or diverge? How might they deepen or complicate one another? Do you hear echoes across the texts? Are writers referencing concepts and keywords that seem compatible, drawing conclusions that intersect in interesting ways? So you're basically going to be the host, and you're going to introduce the topic and then write down something that your first source, or guest in this case, would say, and what another source might reply back, and then something you'd say. Then finally, you're going to say what the third source might say on this topic back to you and the other two, and just keep going for a little bit. You can paraphrase or quote, whatever makes sense to you. Just make sure that you make note of anything that's quoted, so you don't by mistake add it to your paper as if it were not as if it were your words. So this is intended to help you get used to figuring out how to get all of these sources in what I would say conversation with one another, in this case literally, and some of the writing from that may be useful to your drafting process. Another tool that I think you'll find useful to your drafting process is this third piece that's due on Sunday the 26th, and that's, I call this rhetorical sourcing. And basically all this is a way to think about how best to make sure that your topic, that your sources are introduced in such a way that they are meaningful to the reader, that they give enough coherent material to help the reader understand it. And there are some steps that I'm recommending you follow. First, start with your own idea, something that you want to say, an idea or connection of your own. Um, Sometimes writers make the mistake of starting out with somebody else's ideas, and really it's hard then to figure out where you, as the writer, land in this guide. Identify the writer you're citing. You have worked with this on the summary heuristic before, but tell a little bit about what the reader would need to know to understand and appreciate your reliance on the source. And then think really carefully about what you want to quote from the source. Ask yourself, what aspects of this text stand out for me as a reader? And then this is perhaps one of the most important pieces, and the one that a lot of writers forget. Interpret the material you cite. Really, you can't rely on the reader to understand what the quote means in relation to your ideas without explaining it fully to them and connecting it back. So do do that hard work for them so that they're not left wondering how they're supposed to understand it. There's an example here of a rhetorical sourcing that a student from a while back wrote, and maybe it'll help you understand what I mean. And then there's a little try it out. That's the part I'm asking you to submit on Blackboard when it comes time. All right, so those are the 3 exercises, and if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to get in touch with me. That's what I'm here for, and I want to help you be successful. All right, have a great week.